going back to the Streamlabs quarterlies, which we talked about last go-round, Twitch reached all-time blah, blah, blah. So I talked about these percents, and as a percentage of the total market, yeah, it is interesting to compare the percents of streamers versus viewers. But there's always a problem with using percents. And that is, a percent can be used to emphasize, a percentage isn't quite as good as the hard numbers, because you can talk about, for example, that your money went up 3% when you normally make $1 and you made an extra 3 cents. So percentages can be used to sensationalize things. So what I want to do is I actually want to bust out Excel. Nerd. Thank you very much. What I actually want to do is I want to bust out Excel, and I want to run some numbers on Mixer's golden moment. So let's zoom this back to something a little better here, and let's go up to, let's bring in these numbers. All right, here's where we start having some nerd fun here. Get back in there. Trying to get this to where it looks okay without, well, I'm trying to make up for the fact that it doesn't have dark mode. That's what the problem is. Sorry. So, all right, Mixer's golden moment. Let's get to work on this. Let's punch these numbers in. And since everything is in millions, let's just do everything in millions here. I want to see what the ratio is. So let's do Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and Mixer. That's a little small. Let's blow that up a little. There we go. Go Excel! Woo! Not going to do anything real fancy in Power Query or anything. So, all right. So we have Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and Mixer. Let's bring over these statistics here. So let's see, hours watched. Let's do watched M. So this is hours watched. So this is people actually watching. I'll copy this over here. 3114.1 for Twitch. If I can, God, I have a mechanical keyboard. This should be easier. 1076.5 for YouTube. 553.8 for Facebook. And then a piddly little 81.4 for Mixer. So that's in millions for watch hours. Now let's do streamed M for the people that are trying to amount to something on these platforms. I want to get a ratio first of all. So Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and Mixer. As a matter of fact, let's make it interesting. Let's bring out the colors here. Let's see. Home is so let's bold this up a bit. Maybe not bold it, but let's see. Let's turn all the Twitch numbers purple. There we go. Yes. Twitch. Let's turn all the Twitch numbers purple. Okay, I want to leave the ribbon open all the time, so let's just pop that there. All right. So we want to home. Let's turn all of that purple. Let's turn all the YouTube numbers red. Let's turn all the YouTube numbers red. And let's do, you know what? I'm going to break the rules a little. I'm actually going to turn Facebook green instead of light blue, dark blue. Because usually, well, Mixer is light blue and Facebook is dark blue. So let's do Facebook. Let's do Facebook, like, yeah, there we go. Let's do navy blue for Facebook, and let's do medium blue for Mixer. Because this whole thing where I don't really like the color scheme with all of this, so a lot of times, there we go. And then Facebook, and let's do Mixer as medium blue. Let's punch in these streamed numbers here. So streamed, 121.4, again in millions. YouTube Gaming, 14.2. Facebook is 4.9 and Mixer is 28.3. So there are, as you can see, there is talent on Mixer trying to amount to something, but the ratio, well, excuse me, stream to watch is kind of garbage at this point. Okay. Now for the next column, let's add watched divided by streamed. So hours watched for every hour streamed. This ratio, of course, equals this divided by this. And let's bring it down to about 2 decimal. Let's bring it to 3 decimals. A lot of industrial engineer type folks I work with love taking everything to 3. 25.652. Let's bring this down to here. And let's also add in our colors. Format Painter. Oh, that's going to bring back the decimals. Whoops. All right, we'll just redo this afterwards. And let's see here. Yeah, we're bringing back all the decimals just to get the colors to be the same. Okay, that's just as simple as format cells, and let's put it to 3 decimal places here. All right. So let's see. We can actually make Excel bigger, I think, and it'll blow up on the screen in OBS. So let's full screen it. Nope, it's not doing it. I knew there would be some limits to this. All right, well, it's good to see what's on screen. It's good to see what's on screen like this, but let's just do this. And now let's do this. And let's see. Snap this down like that. We don't need A for anything, so let's zoom over. Let's move over here. So, okay, watched versus streamed. All right. So, the ratio of watched versus streamed. So, the higher this is, the better your chances of discoverability. So, and this does line up. I've only streamed on Twitch, YouTube, and Mixer. I have not streamed on Facebook before. But I can definitely say that I do get better numbers on YouTube. It's just to get more toxic, trolly type stuff over on there. Let's boldface the whole thing just to make it even more colorful and make it even more readable for those of you tuning in. So let's do this here. Ah, no, wait, hold on. We're going to have to do some, let's do this. Make this bigger and do this. We just got to turn on word wrap for these cells. So alignment, wrap text, doink. There we go. Who says doink like that? Me, of course. Let's do that. No. It's control enter for this. Nope. I want to wrap this down to the next. Well, let's just do this. Streamed, or just do this. There. Not gonna get the better of me now, are you, Excel? So for watch versus streamed, this lines up with the numbers. Facebook, of course, is an aggressively expanding platform. So I've actually seen, I can't go onto Facebook now without getting at least one sponsored post of someone who's streaming a video game on Facebook Gaming. So I'm very curious about Facebook at this point. I've never actually had a MultimediaJay Facebook page because I've traditionally used Facebook for more personal, family, friends, and stuff like that. But there's just so many people on Facebook. And right now, if you see this ratio here, watched versus streamed, the best ratio by far is Facebook. 553 million watched versus only 4.9 streamed. So this would be where the explosive growth is coming from. But the sad part here is my worst experience in terms of numbers was Mixer. And despite being a smaller platform, yeah, 28.3 versus 81.4. So the ratio is down to 2. Even Twitch has better numbers than that. So this is the potential that Twitch has as it continues to grow if they just change up their setup so that it's less elitist, so to speak, as they roll out more algorithms and get away from the straight-up hierarchy of whoever has the most viewers is always on top. As they start trying to roll out algorithms that match up nuance and style to individual Twitch users based on what they watch, we might see things get a little bit better here. But just in terms of the ratios alone, Twitch has better numbers than Mixer. But YouTube blows them out of the water and Facebook smokes everybody right now. The question I have is, when Facebook gets a little more established, how much does this number drop down relative to Twitch and YouTube? Now let's take a look at Mixer specifically because we're talking about Mixer's golden moment. Mixer has 28.3 million hours streamed, according to these stats, for Q1 of 2020. So let's see if we can do some number crunching. Suppose we had a full-on streamer revolt and all the Austin streamers defected to Mixer. So streamer revolt. So this is where we're going to put in here. Let's do the Austin. Let's do Austin, Texas, or let's just call it the Texas streamer revolt. And let's see here. Let's do some math on if suppose everybody went over to Mixer, how much bigger would that number get? So number one, you have hours watched. Mixer, it just dwarfs everybody else in Q1 of this year. This is during the quarantine, by the way. And don't forget, Mixer also has a tie-in to a video game console. So either, or if not both of these numbers, is artificially bigger than it otherwise would be because you probably have an easy way of doing Mixer on the Xbox and stuff like that. I was poking around. I did see some traditional streams on Mixer last night after the show, but at the same I also found copyrighted music, by the way. But again, Mixer, with just the the numbers alone just show right here, especially the watched number, because this is what the RIAA would be concerned about the most. And this might be what actually put Twitch on the map, as well as the other stuff that's going on. But the hours watched, what the RIAA is concerned about is music piracy. They're concerned about, and of course not paying the licensing fee. They're concerned about, they're chasing after lost revenue here. So what matters more is the hours watched. So the question is, if there was a Texas streamer revolt, and a lot of big streamers from Texas that I watch, because a lot of them live around Austin and stuff like that, as they've said on their own streams, by the way. I'm not being like, I'm the eye in the sky, woo! Yeah, I'm the all-seeing eye. So, let's just do a what if here, and let's see how much that Mixer number would go up if we had a Texas streamer revolt, and all the big streamers with a certain amount of viewers decided they didn't want to use Twitch anymore because Twitch is going to turn into crappier YouTube as they try and roll out copyright tools, and they want to keep their format exactly the same. None of this, by the way, is supposed to be any kind of implication that any of these streamers want to do this. This is a what-if situation, and quite frankly, these streamers can speak for themselves. So, let's say there's a Texas streamer revolt, and everybody goes over to Mixer. Let's bring some streamers here. Streamer. And let's say they bring a certain number of fans and streaming hours. We'll assume that they're making a full-time job out of streaming, and they're streaming 8 hours a day. So most times like 5 to 10 with these guys, but if they want to follow the 888 rule, which was set during the New Deal and everything, there'll be 8 hours work, 8 hours sleep, 8 hours recreation. So let's start with Asmongold. Let's start with Asmongold here. Suppose, come on, man. Texas streamer revolt is well, what we can do is, just merge and center. Where's the tool when it's shrunk like this? There we go. All right. So Asmongold brings over about 40,000 fans, and we'll do things a little bit low, maybe do things a little low, assume some drop off or something like that. Sfand brings over 5,000 fans. Mizkiff brings over 10,000 fans, because everybody loves Mario 64. So, Asmongold, Sfand, Mizkiff, and let's say Amaranth joins the party. She's about 2,000 to 3,000. We'll give her 3,000 fans coming over. And, let's leave Mitch Jones out of it. Asmongold, Sfand, Mizkiff. Oh, Trainwrecks. Yes. Let's assume Trainwrecks is bringing 6,000 fans, and he gets 6,000 people to come over to Mixer. All right. So each one of these guys, not talking like, we could throw Raj in here if we really wanted to, but he barely even streams. So I'm looking for big names that I know and that I'm familiar with. Let's suppose each of these guys streams for 8 hours. So in the case of Asmongold, so what kind of watch hours are we looking at here? Let's suppose these are all diehard fans, and they watch 8 hours a day. So Asmongold has 40,000... Some of these folks, if they see this, are going to crack up, because especially Sfand, with the discussions he's had on Sfand Radio, talking about the ebbs and flows of people watching his stream, and some hours are better than others. But let's assume that these kinds of numbers are in play here. You know what? Let's say they stream 8 hours a day, and these diehard fans watch them for all that amount of time. So, daily watch hours. Let's just do watch hours. Just multiply that. We'll assume that's per day here. So daily watch hours. Daily watch hours. Yeah. So we're gonna have to turn on the wrap for that. Isn't there a quick tool that does word wrap? Haven't poked around in here as well. See, no thanks, no OneDrive, please. There we go. Wrap text. I knew it was in there somewhere. Been a while. I don't really make a lot of spreadsheets anymore, but I do have a ton of experience with Power Query. Okay. So Asmongold in a single day, 40,000 fans watch him for 8 hours, 320,000 watch hours. So these guys all combined together equals the sum. So every single day, these guys are going to bring 500,000 watch hours to Mixer. So how much bigger of a target? So 500,000, that's 512,000 watch hours. Now this is big too. It'd probably be more like people on average watch 4 hours or something, or 5 or 6 hours or something along those lines. Matter of fact, let's put something in here. Let's put something off to the side. Let's just put a block over here, and let's put in 8 hours so we can tune this a bit and we can see how everything changes. So instead of just a flat 8, let's do equals B9, make it an absolute reference. There. So now whatever this is, so we can do 7 people watching for 6 hours a day. You're at 384,000 per day. And daily watch hours, now let's say times 30. Daily watch hours times 30 equals this times 30 days. During a 30-day period, that's 1 million additional watch hours, and then a times 3 for a 3-month quarter. So equals this times 3. So they bring to the table all of this. Let's see, 6 hours a day. Let's put it at 8 hours a day. So they have diehard fans that watch them. They stream 8 hours, and each of these fans watches 8 hours. So Mixer goes up 46 million more watch hours. So let's also divide this by 1 million. Let's divide to millions. So this will be equals this divided by 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there we go. And so we add an additional 46 million to Mixer. So Mixer now goes up to, from 81.4, Mixer now, let's see, equals this plus this. So in a quarterly, Mixer goes up to 127.48. That's the bubble we're looking at. If there's these many diehard fans watching these streamers, and they all switch to Mixer. Now, these are some crude numbers, yes, but the 127.48 barely moves the needle. So the question is, and this is the issue too with Ninja and everything. So Ninja goes over to Mixer, people get the idea that, oh, Ninja's going to Mixer, and Mixer's going to become comparable to Twitch now. Here's the thing. Yeah, these streamers with these amount of fans and things like that, you know, numbers have a way of making big people look not so big. Oh. So you got all these guys, if they all go to Mixer, and assuming that all these many fans watch them for 8 hours, you bring Mixer up to 127 in a quarterly for hours watched. You bring Mixer up to 127.48 million, which still means they're the smallest platform. Facebook still blows them away. Never mind YouTube and Twitch. So here's the thing. If these folks, you know what? We can have some fun with this. If we insert something here, let's say Ginny joins in. She's in America or something. She brings about 6,000 people. She brings about 6,000 people. Equals. Let's bring this down here. Down to 8. And she adds another 48,000 to this. But this isn't summing it all. So let's take this up to 18. Bam. So there we go. Still, she would bump Mixer up to 131.8. So again, if you're talking about how big would Mixer be on the radar if these big streamers that wanted to switch everything over, switched over, or they couldn't let go of their copyrighted music, they went over to Mixer. Even when you factor in all these streamers with all these fans watching 8 hours of them streaming every day, and this is high, by the way, we're talking about Mixer going up to 131.8. So they would still be last place, but these folks would bring over all these audiences. They would bring over all these audiences, and Mixer would remain small. Mixer would still remain small in terms of hours watched. And it might hurt their ability to grow as well, because there's nobody really watching to add to the audience over on Mixer. But just from these numbers alone, if by chance all these streamers just couldn't let go of the copyrighted music, they'd go over to Mixer. Mixer would still be the smallest platform. And it gets, if we drop down to 7 hours now, change those down to 7s, we've dropped to 125.5. So again, Mixer is so far behind the 8 ball that you could send several popular streamers over there and it wouldn't even move the needle. Mixer would still be in last place. They'd just be notably less in last place. And these folks, assuming that they didn't just have people get bored and leave because there's not much folks on Mixer to check them out for the first time versus other platforms. So, but and by the way, we ran the numbers, and Mixer has the worst watched versus stream ratio out of all these platforms. Some of this might be inflated again because of the tie-ins to the consoles, but there you go. Texas streamer revolt. All these streamers decide, you know what? And of course, Ginny's from Korea, but we'll say that she goes back to Texas and hangs out with S-Fan and whatnot, and she stays for another 3 months. But so again, the RIAA is looking at significant digits. Twitch, until recently, was viewed as a smaller platform and stuff like that, but now they've had one of their best quarters ever, and hey, look, it's the RIAA worrying about DMCA stuff. So that's the thing. But there you go. Texas streamer revolt. You send all these big streamers over to Mixer. They bring these many fans who watch them that many hours a day. Let's be more realistic. Let's take it down to 4. You're still talking Mixer is the distant last place streaming platform. So therefore, the odds are that it's not a big enough target to chase after versus Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. So that is the kind of that right there is the kind of thing where, yeah, these are big streamers. They have awesome communities, and they get all kinds of people watching every single night or day or whenever they stream. But even still, as big as they are, the numbers involved on these platforms just dwarfs any one of them. It reminds me of a little something that I remember when it came to YouTubers. There were some bigger YouTubers in the early days of YouTube who found out the hard way that internet fame wasn't really fame at all. So you'd have one of the biggest names on YouTube at the time. It was Renetto, actually. I remember he got on the news, and the news crew barely even mentioned that he was a YouTuber. I was like, wow, boy, is that a wake-up call. This guy's one of the biggest names on YouTube back in the early days of the platform. And he goes on the news, and they call him by his non-internet name and stuff. So, and they barely even acknowledge that he does anything with YouTube whatsoever. I mean, yeah, it's so easy to get fishbowled by these platforms. But there you go. Texas streamer revolt. Send all these streamers over to Mixer. Mixer is still by far the smallest platform. So, like I said, Mixer's golden moment. That's what we're looking at here with this whole situation with the DMCA and everything, because it's not the sort of thing that Microsoft probably wants, but in terms of the RIAA and these rights holder organizations going after DMCAs on the platforms that have the most going on, Mixer is the little guy by a massive margin, at least on watch time, not on streaming time. But when you have a ratio like this that's this terrible, that basically means there's just too many people streaming versus the number of people watching, and that the Mixer PR team hasn't done a good enough job of bringing people over to the platform. And that's completely understandable, because why should you go to Mixer? Again, the demographics question when it comes to being a content creator. Why should people watch you? And why you specifically? So again, why Mixer? So Twitch has tie-ins to Amazon now. So there's Amazon Prime, there's Twitch Prime, there's drops, there's all kinds of other reasons besides just plain old streaming to go to Twitch. YouTube has, of course, uploads. It's part of an established platform and an established ecosystem for videos. There's also tie-ins to Google. You can buy movies and have them pop up on YouTube if there's the right integration with the digital copy and stuff like that. So there's compelling reasons to go to YouTube because of the tie-ins to Google. Excuse me. Wow. Facebook. These cold ones are messing with me, man. Facebook. Well, it's Facebook. Family and friends are on there, social media, lots of people chatting, lots of people. And right now, per this quarterly, the single best ratio of watched versus streamed out there, despite the technical issues with Facebook. Facebook has a bit of a problem with, there's 2 tiers. Until you're part of their partner program, you are at 720/30. You can't even touch 1080/60 until they actually recognize you and make you one of the uppity-ups on there, so to speak. So all 3 of these platforms have something besides streaming that is interesting and a reason to go there. Mixer is what again? Mixer's big announcement is that they're rolling out clips. Yeah. At a time when clips are causing all these problems on Twitch because of this DMCA stuff, Mixer's like, we almost got clips ready for everybody. It's like going to a computer conference and saying, hey, look, I invented a slide rule. So yeah, Mixer is the underdog, and they're such a gigantic underdog that I very seriously think that we're probably going to see some streamers go over there if they just can't figure out how to keep their production going without getting rid of the copyrighted music. Because if you want to be on the underdog platform and be under the radar for X amount of time more, and you know what, if we really want to have some fun, we can get D-Live in on the action and stuff. Now, it is true, folks, the DMCA applies wherever you go. You can be issued a takedown notice no matter what platform you're on. But in terms of who are the biggest fish that the RIAA wants to go after, Mixer is the minnow. And Mixer has horrible numbers if you want to go there and be a streamer that actually gets to grow there. So, but I'm thinking, you know, I don't have much going on Twitch or YouTube right now, so maybe I should send the gaming over there and just have fun, see if anybody ever shows up. So that's the numbers, and that's probably took way too long talking about this, but oh well. That is them's the facts-ish, and them's the numbers. So, yeah, Mixer is the underdog. And quite frankly, they should be able to get some growth from this mess as people start to figure these things out. Because I don't know, we send all these big streamers over there, and even if they have super hardcore fans watching them 8 hours a day, they still leave Mixer in last place in terms of the amount of what's going on over there. So now add in a bunch of additional streamers that won't move the needle as much. And so we see exactly how far behind Mixer is. So the question is, will they get any growth from this nonsense? Because if they can't, I don't know what's going to grow Mixer. I just don't know what is going to do it. If they can't grow from this, I don't know how they're going to be anything. So